Everything I've said so far assumes Gen is a cluster of circulations, utilizes quantity to achieve stability, is non-involved, and is a vector of transmission. This structure depends on one condition, which is transmission distribution. But what if that condition is broken? There exists a case where circulation is a gen itself, where transmission doesn't distribute, and where stability can't rely on quantity. This anomaly is Gen 3. So, how does such a structure behave? The transmission and its flow are still current, though the orbital is deficient in circulation for raising reinforcement, and therefore more prone to collapse. This is what I refer to as Gen 3. As the observations from the recent suggest, the core of this gen has matter. How will this affect the entire system compared to an archetypal gen? According to previous categories, circulations retain a role of enriching the orbital through the process of aggregation. Except Gen 3 functions in a monarchy, where the individual symbolizing the gen solitarily nurtures the amelioration of the orbital. This accounts for the drawbacks this lineage must face. With the power focused on a single point, quantity expands haltingly, and parallel contributions from accumulation become impractical. The system itself must achieve every growth milestone manually. Such an arrangement forms a distribution chain, leaving no redundancy. If the chain stagnates, everything is disrupted, leading to an eventual departure of participants. Without the accumulation and parallel processing ability, aggregation can't happen. This is critical because missing it means the gen must fall back to the individual level. The same limitation we observed before returns, or when referred to a gen, is the constant oscillation of presence and absence. Considering the evidence of significant shortcomings, is there sufficient basis to affirm the existence of Gen 3? If a gen requires distribution, why does a non-distributed gen still form? The basis for this is that other attributes can continue to support its existence, notwithstanding the identified shortcomings. In the category Gen Formation Logic, I stated that a gen can sustain itself over time through its size and stability. Despite not fulfilling any of these, Gen 3 still exhibits traits that distinguish it as an exclusive offspring within the gen system. Unlike a circulation, this generation can still create derivatives that catalyze advancements, regardless of the demerit in quantity. By the same token, the vector doesn't disappear as long as that handoff continues, ungovernable by oneself. Fundamentally, Gen 3 doesn't sustain itself through structure, but the continuity of effort. Yet you must ask what purpose such existence truly serves. Its aspiration, mutual with the two predecessors, is to provide the baseline conditions that make model construction more straightforward within one's PMV. The baseline conditions here mean a gen doesn't directly interfere with the vicissitude of model. Hence, while gen can play a role in uplifting the scale, true flourishing requires an individual to introduce deviation, sustain consistency, and at the causal level, to sacrifice capacity elsewhere, often progress or visual. Overlook those adjustments, and model can't thrive. Gen supplement is just a peripheral support. Because capacity allocation operates under uncertainty, low investment in one dimension doesn't guarantee higher investment in others. Synthesizing, Gen 3 exists as a gen below the threshold that the definition describes in full. It qualifies as a gen from a circulation because it sustains direction and triggers derivation. It contradicts the definition only if circulation is mistaken as a prerequisite rather than a condition for stability. So, mistaken in which way? The earlier supplemental description of resource circulation, or the first half of the category gen formation logic, has been fabricated to transform the assertive individual to gen statement of my unspoken premise into a more progressive reinterpretation. I admit the mistake that I had built the foundation of the Gen 2 refutable and Gen 3 specific, and so there comes a gap for multi-perspectivality throughout the categories. Gen 3 here isn't a definite anomaly nor a new definition, but something more inclined as an emergent gen. A gen that serves more as a subdevelopmental transmission vector of Gen 1 or 2, driving people who bond with a stimulating yet delicate region by validating their personal creativity.